Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Want to seek the blessings of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyam Sundar Krishna, Balaram, Bal Gopal, Singadev Bhagwan, Jagannath, Baladev, Gaur Nitai, Tulsi Mani, Haridas Thakur, Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. So we continuing with the Canto 5, Chapter 4 today, and it is entitled The Characteristics of Rishabdev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So yesterday we discussed this pastime. Well, not yesterday, on Friday actually. The Lord appeared, manifesting all good qualities and signs of the Supreme Lord, both physically, such marks as the soles on the lotus feet, the hands, etc., and psychologically, such as equal to everyone, peaceful, controlled senses and mind, no hankering for material enjoyment. Seeing these qualities, King Nabi named his son Rishabh, best of human beings, or supreme being. So Rishabh means best of human beings or the supreme being. And he's more commonly known as Rishabdev, and enthroned his son as king. Once Indra, the king of heaven, who is very materially opulent, became envious of King Rishabdev. And he stopped pouring water on the planet. At that time, by his own prowess, Rishabdev profusely poured water onto earth, known as Ajanaba, ruled by, at that time, the earth was known as Ajanaba, ruled by Nabi and Rishabdev. After installing Rishabdev as king, King Nabi left with his wife for Badrikaksham in the Himalayas to perform austerities, and in time were elevated to Vaikuntha. So this is really quite interesting that even though the Supreme Lord appeared in their family, the king and the queen, they left home to do tapasya. So this is actually a little bewildering as well. If the Supreme Lord has come to your home, why would you leave? But this was the Vedic tradition, and this was the example that these great personalities set for everyone to follow, that one should not be attached to home. Just because their home had the Supreme Lord didn't mean they didn't have to follow that same rule. So this is the greatness of these saintly kings. Okay. Lord Rishabdev, with his wife Jayanti, had 100 sons, of whom Bharat, the eldest, was an great exalted devotee. In his honor, this planet is named Bharatvarsh. So this is India is actually known as Bharatvarsh. That's its name. India is a name given by foreign invaders. So the actual name is Bharatvarsh. Amongst the sons were Nav Yogendras. These are 9 exalted advanced devotees, and they're called Kavi, Havi, Antariksha, Prabhuda, Pipalayana, Avirhotra, Drumila, Chamasa, and Kara Bhajana. So these Navyogendras, we will come across them again later in the Bhagavatam, especially in the 11th canto. They give a lot of instructions to one of the kings, highly exalted personalities. There were also 10 Kshatriyas and 81 qualified Brahmins. So these 100 sons, this is the 100 sons of the Lord. Being an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Rishabdev was fully independent because his form was spiritual, eternal, and full of transcendental bliss. Eternally had nothing to do with the four principles of material misery: birth, death, old age, and disease, the samsara. He's not materially attached. He's always equipoised, and he saw everyone on the same level. What does that same level mean? He saw everybody as spirit soul and connected to him as spirit soul. So he wouldn't discriminate against the spirit soul. Of course, according to our body, the treatment we receive is according to that, different. But he always understands that we are all spirit soul. He's unhappy to see others unhappy. And he is the well-wisher of all living beings, entities. So this is very important to understand, that the Lord is the well-wisher of everyone. Even somebody we hate, and we are thinking, God, you should punish this man or woman or whatever. But actually, the Lord is the well-wisher. He cares for everyone. Whether we like that person or doesn't, or we don't, doesn't matter. He likes them. And our mood needs to come to that level as well, as much as we can, that we don't have any enemies. And we consider everybody on the same platform. He was a perfect personality, but still he strictly followed the principles of Varnashram Dharma. By his example, showing how people could remain householders, at the same time become perfect by following the principles of Varnashram Dharma. He maintained himself as a Kshatriya, followed the instructions of the Brahmins. He performed 100 sacrifices and satisfied the citizens so much that they did not desire anything from him. Once, while touring the world, Lord Rishabdev, the Supreme Lord, reached a place known as Brahmavarta, where he instructed his sons. Although they were already very well behaved, devoted, and qualified, he instructed them so that in the future they could rule the world very perfectly. Thus he spoke as follows. So this Canto 5, Chapter 5, is a very important chapter because it contains these instructions by Lord Rishabdev. So there's Lord Rishabdev. And the most prominent son of his is Maharaj Bharat. So we see these instructions now. Lord Rishabdev's teachings to his sons is the name of this chapter. In order to establish Bhakti Yoga, Lord Rishabdev first says that human enjoyment should not be practiced as the goal for a person with a human body. So what a place to start, that we should try not to enjoy our senses. It doesn't mean we can't do anything. No, we can. But if our only goal is to enjoy this world with our material senses, with our vision, our hearing, our smell, our taste, our touch, then we've missed the purpose of life. From the human body, one can gain deliverance or fall down by serving saintly persons and progress on the path of liberation. However, association with materialistic people opens the path to hell. Yeah. So does that mean we can't interact with non-devotees, those who are not devotees of God? No, because it's very hard to live in this world. If we try to not have any connections with anyone other than devotees. But what it means is we don't take the bad habits of the non-devotees. We take the good habits of the devotees. So we give association as opposed to take association from the materialistic people. So, and we know from our family, our friends, people can be very much materially driven. partying, working, whatever else. But we don't have to be like them. It doesn't mean we don't have to be with them, but it doesn't mean we have to be like them. So, but we can't fall in the trap of being too much in their company and then getting attracted to that way of life. That's dangerous. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. By renouncing this hard knot of attraction, one can go to the spiritual world. So it is very hard. This material world, life, existence is undoubtedly very, very difficult to come out of. But by renouncing it, one can go to the spiritual world. Those interested in reviving Krishna consciousness are, so what are the symptoms of one who is interested in spiritual life? Eager to develop love for the Lord, disinterested in mingling with people who are busy maintaining their bodies, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, unattached to their houses, wives, children, friends, or wealth, interested only in collecting enough money to keep body and soul together, or to remain in household life to spend their money on glorifying the Lord. These are very interesting principles to live by. Engaged in devotional service, beginning with hearing and chanting, always thinking of the Supreme Lord, and becoming free from false ego. The process is as follows. Right. So these are some guidelines of how we can go in the spiritual direction. Follow the Guru with devotion. Detach from matter. Tolerate dualities. What does that mean? Happiness and distress. You know, we know there's going to be unhappiness. We know there's going to be happiness. So we're not going to be disturbed. If we're unhappy, okay, this time will pass. If we get a lot of happiness, yes, this time will also pass. Don't get too overjoyed, because it is temporary. And it's interesting how Lord Krishna in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita says that that person who is dear to him tolerates dualities. He says it 4 times. So, very powerful. Realizing the miserable condition of the jiva, understanding that we are in a precarious position. It doesn't mean we're negative. Our attitude is not negative, it's very positive. But we understand the reality of this world is a tough place for the jiva, for us. Inquiring about the truth, performing austerities. Now, in Kali Yuga, it's a little hard to do austerities. Our bodies are quite weak, very weak, in fact. So the one austerity that we can do, which the Lord very kindly has opened the door for us, is the fasting on Ekadashi every 2 weeks, avoiding grains and beans. So that is a very good austerity to perform. And that is in order to please the Supreme Lord. Giving up the endeavor for sense enjoyment, engaging in the Lord's activities, engaging in celebrations, festivals, hearing Lord's topics always, associating with the Lord's devotees, chanting and glorifying the Lord's transcendental qualities, being without enmity, no enemies, seeing everyone equally. That's a really tough one. It's a tough one. And really speaking, only the spiritual master and the Lord can do this perfectly. But we can try. Why not make the effort? Subduing anger, lamentation, abandoning bodily identification. I am, male, I am young, I am old, I am male, female. We just have to try to understand we're actually the soul, which is a servant of God, part and parcel of God. Reading the revealed scriptures, living in a secluded place. What does that mean? Does that mean we have to go to the forest, sell up our home and go to the forest? No, we can live in the forest. We can live in the city. We can live in the middle of the city. But yet we find a space for ourselves, especially our mind, where it can be in a secluded place. It doesn't have to mingle with everything and everyone. So we can live in a crowded place, but we still have this sense of purpose that we will consciously try to improve ourselves. And one of the best ways to improve oneself is to be with the Lord, doing chanting, japa, on one's own, as well as together with other devotees. So practicing to control the life is mind and senses. So when we're practicing to do japa, this is exactly what we are trying to control. Developing faith in the Vedic scriptures, literatures, observing celibacy, performing one's prescribed duties, not avoiding, not running away from our duties, avoiding unnecessary talk, gossip, or talking behind people's backs. What a waste of time. And we also bind ourselves by doing it. Seeing Lord's presence everywhere. Like Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu asked him, questioned him, interrogated him, where is your God? He's everywhere. I'm going to prove he's not everywhere. I'm going to smash this pillar and show you God is not in the pillar. And of course, Lord Nrsingadev appeared out of the pillar. Acquiring knowledge which provides self-realization, which produces self-realization. Practicing yoga. This is not the physical yoga necessarily, but it's the yoga. Yoga means connecting with God. And the best yoga is bhakti yoga, where you're connecting with the Supreme Lord. So these are really phenomenal guidance given by Lord Rishabhdev. A father, a guru, a king who desires to go back to Godhead should consider the Lord's mercy his chief aim in life. He should instruct his dependents, sons, students, citizens, without becoming angry, despite their incompetence. He should never engage them in karma. This will be like throwing a blind man in a well. The guru, so this is really a very, very important instruction now. Such a powerful instruction is given now. The guru, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod must deliver his or her dependents from the path of repeated birth and death. One who cannot do this should not become a spiritual master, should not become a father or a husband or a mother or a worshipable demigod. So this is the prime duty of these personalities, guru, father, mother, etc. Must deliver one's dependence, at least make an effort. At least make an effort. Lord Rishabhdev's body is inconceivable. He appears in this world by his own sweet will. He advises his sons to serve the eldest brother, Parth, considers the highest of all beings to be the Brahmins. They are the Vedas personified and are situated in Satagal. They are engaged in devotional service, do not ask anything material from anyone. He advises his sons not to envy any living being and always offer respects to them at every moment. The Supreme Lord is called Brahmanyadev. The Brahmins referred to here are qualified Brahmins, not caste Brahmins. So these are the real Brahmins. If one is born in a family of Brahmins, one does not behave like a Brahmin. then of course one is not a Brahmin. Just like if one is born in a family of doctors, unless one is qualified to become or to operate as a doctor, he cannot, that's the child cannot be regarded as a doctor. Lord Brahma is superior to Lord Shiva because he is his father and he serves the Brahmins. But Shiva is actually superior to Brahma because he's a Vaishnav and has superior powers. So this is interesting. It says in one sentence, Brahma is more powerful than Shiva, but then it says, no, actually, Shiva is more powerful than Brahma, which is the case. No one is equal or superior to the Brahmins. The Lord derives more pleasure from food offered through their mouths than from the food offered in the sacrificial fire. Interesting. So, these are the 8 qualities of a Brahmin. And these are also described in the Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, I think 42nd verse. What are the qualities? Sattvam Paramam, situated in the purest Sattvagun. Sama, fixed in mental control. Dhamma, sense controlled. Satya, truthful. Anugraha, merciful in preaching the purpose of the Vedas. Tapasya, austere. Titiksha, tolerant. Anubhav, they have realized the position of the Jiva and the Lord. So if one is claiming to be a Brahmin, these 8 qualities need to be manifest in that person. After enthroning Bharat, Lord Rishabdev lived like a madman. Naked and with his disheveled hair, he left home and passed through human society like a blind, deaf and dumb man. Although people gave him much trouble, he did not care as he walked to the world alone. Even his stool and urine were so aromatic that they filled 80 miles of the countryside with a pleasant fragrance. While he was absorbed in transcendental love, all mystic powers approached him, but he did not exercise these powers. So this is some of the activities of Avadut Rishabdev. So, yeah, look at one more chapter. There is walking around without a care. Everybody was perhaps mocking him, but he didn't care. This is the Supreme Lord. The activities of Lord Rishabdev. Being surprised. King Parishit asked Sukadev Goswami, why did Rishabdev neglect the mystic powers? Especially as the power of mystic yoga automatically arise by the practice of bhakti yoga. And attachment for fruitive activities is completely burnt to ashes. Sukadev answered that Parikshit was correct in his assessment, but those who are advanced in spiritual life do not put faith in the mind. And they always remain vigilant, watching the mind's actions. One should not make friends with the mind. If the yogi gives his mind a chance and does not restrain it, then it would harm the yogi. Sukadev then gives the example of Lord Shiva and Saubhari Muni. So this is very powerful, powerful instruction. So when we practice bhakti yoga, the Lord may give some powers, extra powers, but we should be very carefully avoid those powers because the mind can play tricks on us, even at a high level, and we'll see that later. So this is Saubhari Muni. He was doing tapasya for a very long time, thousands and thousands of years, underwater, very austere. But then he saw 2 fish mating, and that took away his mind. And this is Lord Shiva, who ran after Mohini, the incarnation of God. So we've got to be very careful with the mind. Lord Rishabdev acted as if dull and mad, just to teach yogis how to give up the body. During his wanderings, he entered a forest fire where his body was burnt to ashes. Of course, Lord Rishabdev's body was not like our body. not material body, spiritual body completely. So when fire burned up the gross bodies of trees and animals in the forest, Rishabdev burned up their subtle bodies. Thus they all attained liberation. So it's Rishabdev. In the future, in Kali Yuga, one king, Arhat, heard and imitated Lord Rishabdev's pastimes and introduced a new system of religion opposed to the Vedas. So this system of religion is actually called Jainism. And King Harat heard about the pastimes of Rishabdev, and he started this new system of religion. So the Jains, they have this, sometimes they travel around without any clothes, or very, very simplistic life, in a sort of imitation of Lord Rishabdev's teachings. Abandoning cleanliness and neglecting the Supreme Lord, the followers accept nonsensical principles. So unfortunately, this is the conditions. Many Jains, they don't actually give any regard to the Supreme Lord. Lord Rishabdev incarnated to deliver the following people of the age of Kali. Lord Rishabdev rejected all kinds of yogic perfections, which other yogis hanker to attain. Who is that yogi you can compare to Lord Rishabdev? Whoever hears the narrations of Rishabdev will attain, so they will destroy sinful activities, vanquish sinful activities, create complete auspiciousness, make one attain pure bhakti. Since devotees bathe themselves in devotional service, they do not care for liberation. The Lord may easily give liberation, but very rarely will he give pure devotional service. Out of his causeless mercy, Lord Rishabdev taught the Lord the self's real interest and the goal of life. So why will the Lord easily give liberation, but not bhakti? Because through bhakti, one can actually control the Supreme Lord. And Lord is very careful who he gives bhakti to. Liberation means nothing. So we are away from this material world, but are we close to the Supreme Lord? That's the point. Lord Krishna is the maintainer, spiritual master, worshipable deity, friend, and director of both the Pandavas and the Yadus. But he was more affectionate to the Pandavas. Thus he gave the highest prem to them. He does not give inferior liberation to pure devotees. So that's chapter 6. So we stop there. Any questions? Any comments, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, anyone?
Yes, very important point that he gives liberation but does not give devotional service to everyone. That is important.
Yeah. Yes.
So if like few selected like Srila Prabhupada, he gave them devotional service. But then what we do, Prabhuji, is something like devotional service, isn't it? Chanting.
Definitely. That's what we're trying to do. Correct. And hopefully we don't have this attitude of, just let me get out of this world. No. Actually, let me serve you, whether it's here or in the spiritual world, whatever you want, Yeah, correct.
Service.
Yeah.
But, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yes, Shamali.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah. But people who get liberation, they don't come back on this material world. Okay?
Correct. Now, once you go to the spiritual world, you won't come back to this world unless that liberation is to the Brahma Jyoti, the effulgence of the Lord. If we merge with the effulgence of the Lord, then there may be a possibility of again coming back to this material world. But once one goes to the spiritual kingdom, the Vaikuntha planets, then there's no question of coming back to this world.
Okay, so when they get liberation, where exactly? They don't go to Vaikuntha. No.
They may go to the Vaikuntha, but they may have the relationship with the Lord may not be an active relationship in seva, in bhakti. It may be, for example, service of grass. The grass, you will not be an active participant in the service to the Lord necessarily. You will just be observing, enjoying. Even that is actually coming on to devotional service, but it will be a non-active role with the Lord, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Where one realizes, okay, I am, I'm not the body, I am the soul, and he's got, the soul has got that full realization, but it may not have the full understanding of the relationship with God. Not yet. And is there a chance for the liberated soul to progress? Yeah, nothing is impossible for the Supreme Lord. Nothing is impossible. Anything is possible. But it's very hard. Once you're set in a certain situation, it's very hard to move from that situation. So we are really, really lucky because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us this wonderful storehouse of prema bhakti. He's opened up this incredible, cupboard which has been locked up. Prema bhakti. Krishna didn't open it. Chaitanya Prabhu opened it, and he's giving out prema bhakti freely. So in this age of Kali Yuga, we have this, great fortune of access to the highest, aspects of bhakti yoga, which is like Madhurya Lila or Madhurya Rasa or Sakhya Rasa or Vatsalya Rasa or Dasya Rasa. So we are in a highly fortunate situation. But at the same time, we're highly unfortunate because we don't take full advantage of that. So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think as we go on, hopefully we won't be thinking I can live forever. But as we get older, we realize, okay, you know what? I'm going to stop that nonsense, and I'm going to attach myself a little bit more to the Lord. And slowly, every day we make a little bit more progress towards the Supreme Lord.
Okay. When we say liberated, we can get liberated while we are in this material world, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That.
Yes. It's a state of consciousness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Correct.
Detachment from the senses.
Yeah. Yes. And even Bhakti Yoga, even whilst we're in this material world, we can be fully engaged in Bhakti Yoga and, have that relationship with the Lord. It's a little hard sometimes to, like if one is in Madhurya Rasa and one is then behaving in a certain way, it's very hard for people to understand. So the devotees generally don't, exhibit these things.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, Shyammalini?
No, I didn't. What Mataji said, even we are in this material world, we can get liberation.
Even while we're here, because liberation is a state of consciousness, right? So if our consciousness is thinking, I am not this body, I can see everyone equally as souls, I'm not discriminating against anybody, and I have no enmity against anyone at all, then one is already liberated, But one may not have that connection with the Supreme Lord. And that's very important, that attachment. See, we may be very detached from material life, but are we attached to the Supreme Lord, the spiritual world? That's very key. That's very key.
But you say they can go to Vaikun, but there the Lord is there also, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. They will have to have some attachment in the mood of awe and reverence.
Can you extend my books, please, which are going to be finishing tomorrow? Please. Your card number, please. Yes.
Yeah. So they would need to have, to get to Vaikuntha, they would have to have some very strong idea of the Lord's position in terms of the master, the controller, the supreme creator of everything. And yeah, so they would be liberated. They're already perfect in their behavior, so they would go to the Vaikuntha for sure. But if they don't have that concept of the Supreme Lord, they would go to Brahmajyoti, where they would merge with the Lord's effulgence. So there they haven't got the full appreciation of, they are thinking, I am the Lord. So, and that's a dangerous place, very dangerous place.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's so much variety, there's so many variations. We cannot possibly define the relationship between this Atma and the Supreme Lord, because everyone's relationship with him is unique and different, So this is the beauty of Sanatana Dharma. It connects us with the Supreme Lord in whatever relationship we have with him. And that is, no two relationships are the same.
Sorry?
No two relationships are the same with the Supreme Lord.
Okay.
Everyone has a unique personal relationship with the Lord. And it's so gratifying to know this, that, my dear Lord, I have a relationship with you, a personal, I can't even conceive that. Thank you so much. I don't even understand it, of course, but thank you. I know there is one. I want to establish and re-establish that relationship with you.
Okay.
That's a great motivation in spiritual life,
Yes. It's our mind that, as you said, plays trick, isn't it?
Tricks.
Yes.
Yeah. But even the liberated souls have the same issue, right? And we'll see that from the pastimes of Maharaja Bharat in the next session, I think. How even he was at the stage of Prema Bhakti, almost. He was at the stage of Bhava, which is the closest to Prema Bhakti. Yet he still fell down, So, yeah, we got to be careful.
Then, if someone fall down like that, and, after he leave the body, so what happened?
Yeah, Lord will protect him because he was so close. Yes. And we'll see that protection, in a practical way. We'll see it. That protection is there.
Yeah.
And this is what we're saying. He's got a personal interest in every one of us. That is just mind blowing. So.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Finish?
Yes.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
There was in between, I think about 2-3 pages ago, it said something about men and woman attraction.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's like the biggest thing that holds us to this world, the attraction between man and woman. That's what binds us to this world, keeps us in this world, because we are attracted to the opposite sex.
Yeah.
And the idea of spiritual life is to
keep away from it,
is to understand that this is going to drag me in this world, and I am not going to be attached. It doesn't mean I walk away from my responsibilities, but I will not be confined to having this as my primary attraction to this world, i.e., I will not be attracted to the opposite sex. And as you get older, again, this becomes a little easier.
Yes, yes.
So it becomes a little easier. But having said that, it's not necessarily the case. But yes, yeah.
And who is this? Sorry, Lord. What was it?
Rishabdev.
Yeah, who is he? And you said something about like he was he was going everywhere without clothes.
Yes.
And
Rishabdev is incarnation of God.
You
He's
said
Vishnu.
that he burned himself.
Yeah,
so
he's
why
Vishnu.
was that?
No, that's how he left this world. That's how he left this world. In the fire. That's right. He left his world in this fire.
And did he wanted to go like that?
Oh, yeah. He's in total control. He's Vishnu. He's same as Vishnu. Yeah.
All right. And all right. And
yeah.
Was he a king or just a normal person?
Yes. No, he was a king. And the Jains regard Lord Rishabdev as their first Tirthank, the first guru. The Jains.
Yeah. Oh, Jains.
Guru.
All right.
Yeah. That's right.
I know. Jain. Even if you go in the Jain temple, their statues, I don't know, but they like.
Yeah. Rishabdev will be there. That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. Thanks for telling me that. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Yamalini.
Sorry, Prabhu. So,
that's okay.
Rishabdev, King Rishabdev, his body burned to ashes. Did you say?
Well, there was a forest fire, but his body is not like our body, a material body. Fire cannot burn his body because he's Vishnu. So this is the spiritual fire which would have taken him back to the spiritual world. You know, this is he goes to the spiritual world in his original body. So the fire is like a diversion, if you like. So there's no way the fire, ordinary fire, can burn the Supreme Lord.
Yeah, his spiritual body, so it cannot be burned.
That's correct. That's correct.
It was the same for Krishna also. That I get confused.
Yeah. Krishna also, he actually just left for he was sitting against a tree, and then the Jara came and he shot an arrow and hit the leg of Krishna, and then he left for the spiritual world. He did not die, of course. He just ascended back to the spiritual kingdom.
So he went in his original body.
Oh yeah.
So why then they say that his heart is in the Puri?
He what?
You know, I read that they say that, you know, in how do you call it, in Puri Dham, and in Lord Jagannath, Lord Krishna's heart is in there.
Heart is there. Well, it's the heart probably from the from the spiritual angle, that is not his physical heart, but his what is it? He enjoys the service of the devotees in Puri. So that's probably what it means. That his heart is there because the devotees, he enjoys the mood of the devotees there, for example.
Yeah. No, I read that somewhere they say that every now and then they remove the heart, they have to close their eyes, and I don't know if maybe it's not true. Yeah,
I know when they bring the new deity, they would do various things in order to invoke the Lord to enter the that wood daru. Yeah. That's there. Definitely is there.
So Lord Krishna actually left in his original body. There was.
Oh yes. As did Ram. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you for your participation. Very good. Srimad Bhagavad Puran ki jai, Rishabdev ki jai.